So welcome guys to the David and Otto Social Proof Podcast, episode 2. David, please.
Welcome, guys. Episode 2. This is going to be a good one. If you enjoyed number 1, this is going to be a 10 times better.
So what are we going to talk about today?
So we're talking about people getting started online. Why is it so important? Get started, or if you're just beginning to start online, why is it so important to keep at it and keep your head down and focus on it, because that's where it's going.
Yeah, and we'll throw some tips in there so you guys can actually learn what to do if you feel like you're lost. Because this is what I've seen so far. Now we are on October 2021, right? 2021. And still, until this date, I have seen so many people with businesses not going online as they should. And what do I mean as they should? Yeah, most of these businesses that I'm talking about are service-based businesses. They have they're running their business offline. They have this interaction with people, like face-to-face interaction, and they have relied on that relationship with with their clients. But the problem is that when things happen, like like the lockdown, like the new world order, as people say. I'm not gonna go into conspiracy theory, but
that's another podcast.
But yeah, that's for another podcast that I would love to speak about. But the point is that the mainstream online world started early 90s?
I mean, it was the 90s. It had to be early 90s, maybe late 80s. There was still computers in the 80s, but to get out to the public wise, I think it was more 90s. It started slowly going out.
100%. But I'm talking about mainstream. I know that in the 80s, that what was happening. Now, obviously, I'm from Venezuela, so we caught up. Like it took us time to catch the trend. But even back then, like, I wasn't into that stuff. That's why I'm saying, like, mainstream, maybe in some Western countries where things were, where some people were using this as a mean to build a business. Like, look, Amazon.com, like they started in the 90s, and other companies as well. Even Gary Vee, he talks about knowing about the online world and getting businesses from emails, like sending emails to people. And that was in the 90s as well. So what's that? Like the 90s was, like, we're talking about almost 30 years, right? 30 years of this world being there. And it is shocking that even until this day, you see a lot of people, and even young people, not necessarily old people like me, but young people that see these as they perceive the internet. Oh, it's just social media. It's not good for you. It's bad. Blah blah blah. But what I truly believe is that we are gonna continue evolving. The technological is that right? The technological world is just it's gonna continue evolving, growing, and as you can see now, like for example, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, they're going to rebrand apparently. Now they're going to go more into the metaverse, and we can talk about that, a little bit later. But this is not stopping. And if you haven't come to the realization that your business needs a great presence online, then you might not fail, but you're going to struggle a lot. Because you will see a lot of people, a lot of businesses who are taking advantage of these platforms. You're going to see a lot of them maybe taking your business as well. And that's scary, especially if you have a family, if you have kids.
It's so
what do you think, man? I'm sorry, I just went on a rant for...
No, I love it. I embrace it, Otto. I embrace it. This is what this podcast is about. We just embrace.
I'll sit back and I'll listen to you while I'm drinking my coffee.
I 100% agree. Everything is going online. Like I said this for years, and it's going more and more. It's going to get more virtual. It's like even NFTs. Is it NFTs? Yeah, NFTs. Like everything is just mainstream. So you're thinking your business, like, what could I do online wise to get started? You can be anything online. You can do anything. Build a brand around you, your business. Like, I love what people says, like, if you have a coffee shop, you could do so much around a coffee shop example. Like show how to make coffee, show you're welcoming. Everyone's on social media. Instagram is getting bigger for pictures and videos. But I mainly say videos because that's where it's going because I follow TikTok. Look how busy TikTok is. Like there's young kids making millions of dollars for posting reels. There's so much opportunity out there. So if you're thinking, why, okay, I get started online, where to go, what to do, just start. Like this is how you get going. The majority of people just want to get started because they just think too much about it, what to do. Oh, I won't make money. If you go with that attitude, you won't make money. Get your head out of the 9 to 5 persona, because that's when you won't do well. You have to just start. Like for anyone, because I do coaching with people and their mindset is just wrong. You just need to follow a system. It's a pretty straight, simple system. And when you follow it, you will succeed. There's no bells and whistles here. Like it is actually that simple. You just need good leadership and good people put you in the right place, right direction. So if anyone, and now I'm a bit of rant myself here. So if anyone gets started, it's just get started. I just love it.
Yeah, like I truly believe in that. And even for those people who are, this is what I believe, right? If you're not really sure what you want to offer, this is what I tell to everybody. If you're not really sure what you have to offer, just get used to the technology. Just get used to putting yourself in front of camera, to talk to people, to talk to a community. Even if that community is not going to pay you money, talk about something that actually interests you, like something that motivates you, that inspires you. All right. So it's only up to you to pick whatever that is. But get used to use this technology as a tool to express and project your message to a wider audience that is going to be interested in what you have to say. And I'm not saying that you have to be an expert. What I'm saying is that when you're in a conversation with friends, you chip in, some comments in there that might enrich the conversation. So it applies the same online, right?
If you're anyways shy around a bit of brand around you, best thing you do is, you're afraid what people might think. Get that notion out of your head, because everyone is so busy with their own life. They might think, oh, look at him, and they forget about you a day or two later. And if you have them kind of friends negative, cut them and find good ones, positive. It's easy said than done, but that is the reality and the truth behind it. And then just start getting in front of the camera. Start talking about your passion. Everyone has a skill and a passion behind them. Everyone has something to bring to the table. So what can you bring to the table? And learn on that new thing you want to do. And whatever you pick, stick at it. Now you might tweak it as you go, because everyone has to find their way.
Yeah.
So just start. Yeah, I started off doing marketing, e-commerce, and then affiliate marketing. And now I'm coaching and I found my passion. So like you can tweak. But at the same time, when you're getting in front of the camera, and that's never going away. That's a skill you're learning for future. So more camera time, more skill for you, more confidence. It's like
so important.
Yeah, it's so important. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's like me getting on sales calls or quick 10-minute calls. It's all process. Each one, I'm getting better. So if the call doesn't go anywhere, I'm like, okay, where did I go wrong? And what have I learned from this call? And just better yourself as you go. Same with content. You tweak it as you go. You get better with content, putting things up, get people to know you. How do you do that? It's literally just putting it out there.
And the funny thing about this is by following that consistency and getting used to these tools, is that eventually what's going to happen, and we have spoken about this so many times, when you're starting and you're using, let's say, a platform like Instagram, right? You're just using that, and you start copying people who are in line, who are doing stuff that are in line with whatever values you have, whatever beliefs you have. So and you will see yourself copying these people. And I'll give you a simple example. Like I'm a musician as well. So back in the 90s, when I started learning about singing, and I used to sing and love singing, and I used to dance salsa while I was singing rock and roll and heavy metal. It didn't work. People weren't getting this in Venezuela. I don't know why. I'm just kidding. But what I was doing though, I was a huge fan of Jim Morrison back in the day, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam as well. And I was copying these guys. And I remember when I used to playing in a band, even though we were singing original songs, they used to say like, "Oh, you just sing like this guy." So I was the guy who was singing like this other guy. Now what happens, and look, that's, I think like that's totally fine. You can actually adopt certain styles from other people. Obviously, I'm talking about music, but in business, it's the same thing. Creating content for your social media platform is the same thing. Speaking in front of the camera, it probably is the same thing, because you're gonna be adopting certain behaviors from other people that you really look up to, right? So my point is that when you enter this environment, you're gonna go through that. But then if you are consistent, and this is so important, if you are consistent and you commit yourself to put yourself out there every single day, what you're gonna realize is like you're gonna find yourself. You're gonna find that voice that you really want to project, because consistency helps confidence. And when you're confident about something, you're all in. You're like open up to deliver whatever you want to deliver and share whatever you want to share.
I love that. And that is,
I'm gonna
boom.
turn this off now. That's all, and I'm gone.
Boom. Up on Instagram. Boom. No, I love it. That is so true, because how to get out there and put your message out there. Don't be afraid of putting crap out there. I mean, when I say crap, I mean, as long as the information is right, you tweak as you go. Like, you learn. Like, my first few
That's
videos,
it.
dreadful. I was like a robot. I was standing. So how are you kind of today? But I learned. And I was never a shy person, but it was weird being on camera and talking to a camera by myself, and it was just weird. And now
And you can, yeah.
now it's a breeze. I don't blink eyelid. Like, doesn't bother me. Someone doesn't like me, let them move on. I don't care. Like, that's the attitude you need. So if you're starting off, like, say it could be a good example, because I say to anyone who's starting off, don't spend money on websites, don't spend money on things. Just start off Instagram first or Facebook. And as you said, Otto, learn the system, learn all about it. There's so much free information out there at the beginning, so just see where you want to go. And then when you choose your path and you find people like you, or a good coach or a good business person, then invest and save yourself a lot of time. So learn what you want and then invest, and you're going to expand very quick. Then that's how it works. It doesn't have to be flashy. It's simple.
Exactly, 100%. And another thing is that the benefits that you're gonna get from habits like those ones, like putting yourself out there, being consistent, creating, right? We're creative human beings. We came to this world pretty much to create, to build relationships. All right. So when you enter that path, you have to realize that the world technology is not gonna stop. As I said, the metaverse is gonna be more of the mainstream. So just think about this. Early 90s, the internet was becoming mainstream. Still until this day, there's a lot of businesses that are not adopting even the online presence properly. They believe on a website that without a Facebook pixel. They believe they have a website with bad branding, doesn't really represent what they want to sell. And it looks like it's like a flyer. It's like a flyer on online. You don't want a flyer online. You want personality. That's why the importance of having a personalizing, humanizing your brand is so important these days. Now, the metaverse, this is the beginning. As you were talking as well, David, NFTs, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. Just look at me in the 90s. Look what's happening right now. In the next 5, because technology is moving faster, and we are actually adopting faster than ever. this metaverse, the virtual world, augmented reality, extreme reality, all of that stuff is gonna be part of your day-to-day life. The people who are growing up in this environment, this is gonna be their day-to-day thing.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be normal for
it
them.
might
They won't know any difference.
it might sound. This is the thing. Like it might sound scary to a lot of people, and I'm not saying that it won't be, especially if you grew up in an era where the world wasn't this, but the new generations, they are going to adopt these tools. So right now, if you're not practicing this online, using these tools that we have right now that might be archaic in the next 10 years, if you're not practicing right now with this, you're going to struggle to communicate with the new generation. And again, if you're a business, I'm sure like you want to get in business for a long term, right? So your customers are not going to be your 30-year-olds now, your 40-year-olds that you have right now. Your customers are going to be the ones who have 10 years old right now.
100% agree. I give you a good example. Touch on this. Payphone. You ask the majority of young people now what a payphone is. They're like, what? Oh, a phone that's actually plugged into the wall in your home house or your house where you live. People's like, what's that? Or dial-up. What is dial-up internet? Well, that's actually. What is that? That noise. And then it disconnects. You oh, and then you load up the picture. Like no one, like the majority doesn't know that. Just,
yeah, you were waiting like.
Yes.
It's gonna connect now. Oh no, we have to try again.
Even better. Even better. Okay, get off the internet. I want to make a phone call. Yes, if you logged on the internet back in the day, you couldn't actually make phone calls at the same time because you're on the landline, so it was all connected to one. Yes, I know you can jump on your phone now, like without realizing, but that's how it was. I remember back in the day on Bebo. That's when that came around. And like Facebook, when I joined Facebook when it came, the internet was so slow in my house, I couldn't load the pages on Facebook. And that was 2004, six, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Facebook might have been around sooner, but that's when I got on it. But the Bebo stage was 2005. And then
I know a friend of mine, he recommended me Facebook, and I was like, why would you? It looked horrible to me, like the whole interface, like the way it looked. I was like, this is just so horrible. But because people were jumping on it, I was like, well, fuck it, like I just have to do this.
But look how Facebook is a new norm, and you're thinking, okay, and you're thinking, what's Facebook trying to do now? They're trying to bring more virtual. So say you're normal on Facebook now. Imagine that's more virtual down 5 years' time. Then you're thinking that's the new normal. This is the process, even with your business. You want to think the same way. Like you have to start somewhere. Look how Facebook started. He was in college. I think he dropped out of college early. He was just doing this on the side. It was kind of like hooking up with women. That's what that was. It was just in one college, getting to know the people and went from there. So look where he is now. He's into everything. Same with your business. It's the exact same process. You have to start somewhere. You're not going to start with $100,000. You're not going to start with $1 million. You're going to start at zero at the beginning. And it's up to you if you want to get there quicker. So when I say about that is learn the skills, get yourself out there, and then invest in yourself. When I say have a bit of savings saved up, so you say, okay, I want to do this in 4 months' time. Okay, then you're thinking, okay, I have 4 months to learn all this by myself, and I'm going to invest in someone who's going to get me there quicker. And that's when you get more results. That's when you don't give up because you have someone there motivating you and putting you in the right direction. You just have to be careful of the scammers because there's always plenty of them. So follow someone you trust, see their good results, and believe in yourself. And that's it. I love how I always say simple. And people say, oh, he says simple a lot. But that's what I mean when I say simple.
Yeah, because we overcomplicate these things, and the reason why we overcomplicate this, I'm a truly believer that the reason is because we are comparing ourselves to those who seem to be successful online already. So if you are if you're young, because this happened to a lot of young people, if you're young and see like cars, sport cars, and flashy things, that might be the reason why you want to jump in. So you think because you don't have that, right? You don't have that right now. Because if that's what's grabbing your attention, you don't have it. We know. And if you have it, you will go like, oh, I have a better one. And I'm sure like that's not, I'm sure
I
that's
like
not
it
the
in
case.
red. I want it red.
Yeah. Red is better. So, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. What I'm saying is that you are pursuing something that is distorting the journey of having a business. It's distorting the real end of what your goals should be for you, because the image of something that is not part of your life can represent what you really want, what that person inside of you really wants. And going back to what David said, it's about believing in yourself. And to believe in yourself, it's a process as well. It's not something that you're gonna go like, yes, I believe in myself, I'm gonna get there right now. No, feel comfortable in that new environment that you're in, the online environment. And then later on, you will find out that there are some people, you will start understanding certain things, and some things will stand out for you, like some tips, some techniques, some information, the way to speak to people, the content that you have to create, the type of writing, the copywriting, the sales process, like all of these things are going to be interesting to you. Exactly. And you start incorporating that thing, those stuff. And then eventually you will start finding people who are in that same journey and start talking to those people. You don't put that pressure on you that you have to be the celebrity. Gary Vee, for me, one of the best voices out there for this new technological world. He started in his parents' business.
Yeah, wine, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he just started like adopting this tool and help his parents to build their business properly. And then he believed in YouTube, he believed in Instagram, he believed in TikTok, LinkedIn. So he believes in the social media world. He believes in building communities, communicating with people. Now he's on Discord, and now he believes in NFTs, and he's doing really fucking well right now with all that sort of stuff, because he's not afraid of adopting these things and and shifting his direction.
I like that. I just want to touch on something. He obviously got ones wrong too. So don't be afraid to try things. Like he admits he gets plenty wrong, but he gets more right. So it's all about just testing. It actually just comes down to testing. It's like a Facebook ad. You do a lot of testing before you start making money on one good ad. But people think you can just invest in one thing is going to blow up. People think the same way about a business. It doesn't work that way. The business will do well. It's just you have to test different things. What suits you? What suits your character? How you put your message out there, and how to build that trust.
Yeah.
People overlook this. People think, oh, I'm just going to set up an Instagram page. I'm going to get thousands of followers. I'm going to make a load of money. It doesn't work that way. You have to build it slowly, learn the system and what works for you. Be unique. As you said earlier, learn from other people, but make sure it's your own. Don't copy everyone don't copy anyone. Just take certain things you like from people and put it for your own. Be unique. The more unique you are, the more you stand out, the better you would do in the long run. And that's what it is. Yeah. Be consistent too.
Nobody can copy you, who you truly are.
Yeah, like people says my Irish voice, I talk quick sometimes, whatever. That's my character. That's me.
Sorry, what do you say there?
Blah 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 blah. But it's the same thing. Just be unique. Like people are always going to judge you regardless. Because that's why I always touch on this topic. That's why most people doesn't want to start. They doesn't want to what their friends or family may think. Who cares what they think? As long as you're happy and you're doing right, you look after your own future, because no one else, they're not looking after your future. Or they might tell you to do this 9-to-5 job and you're not happy, you want to get out of it. If you're a 9-to-5 job and you're happy, fair play. I'm just saying people who want more and different. That's 100%. Like I always like traveling and seeing the world, and I wanted to work from my laptop. And now I'm doing that. It's certain goals you want in life. I can go up get a haircut when I want, because I'm on my own time limit. I'm my own boss. Just give you a quick sample. But it's the same thing. So if you want to get out of that world, just be prepared. Do it on the side first. If you want money coming in, learn, as you auto said, about Instagram, Facebook, learn the platform, on LinkedIn or YouTube, whatever you may want to go on, and learn the system and go from this. Just take it slow at the beginning. See what works for you and slowly start I highly recommend getting in front of the camera quick enough. Just talk it. Get used to the camera. Let the camera become your best friend. Just start talking. Let it come your friend. Come natural. Because if you have that skill, and then if you have the sales skill, learn sales, how to talk to people, and when you have them two skills, you will be unstoppable. Doesn't matter what you do, because there are two powerful skills to have. Because you're always selling yourself, regardless. If you're talking to someone, you're selling yourself. But this guy seems nice. This girl seems nice. That's selling yourself. And then if you come across a good speaker, you can talk to people, represent it, you're not going to be stopped. And I mean that. You just have to be consistent in, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that was actually one of my problems. Like the reason why I didn't go all in, and I'm telling you, like I've been in the interested in the digital world for a long time. I've been doing a lot of stuff in this digital world. And it was only this year that I decided to go all in. First, because last year, because last year, because of the lockdown, and I thought like, well, I'm, like they're not going to control my life. Let me just do something that can actually help me during this time. But it was this year when I realized, like, I'm going all in. But you know what held me back for a long fucking time? The way that I speak, the way that I communicate in English. It held me back to do what I'm doing right now. And I remember in our last episode, or I think it was one of our IG lives, I said, no, I don't regret anything. And then after that, after listening to that conversation, I said, like, you know what? I don't tend to regret anything. I think things happen for a reason. But if I can regret regret something, it'll be not going in 100% the way that I'm doing it right now. I didn't do it 10 years ago because I was afraid of how I was going to be perceived, because English is my second language, and because I don't know, like I might not look like one of those like social media people. So yeah, like look, it happens to all of us. I might sound confident here right now, but the only reason why I'm talking this way is because I've gone through that fear of being perceived as someone who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and his English is not the proper one. So, but nothing's stopping me now, guys. Nothing's stopping me.
That's a great advice, and anyone listen to that. That is seriously, if you're letting something stop you, look Otto, look how he got over. Like, how did he get there? How did he get to where he is now? Practice and just keep being consistent.
Practice, and I'm telling you, like it is simple, as you say, David. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you go on my Instagram account, you kind of see, like, I don't really care what people think. and this is my business Instagram account is my second account. I have another account which is personal, and it was more about music, and then it was more about family because my family was part of my life, and that was the only thing that I couldn't record anymore, like as much as I would like to. I have two daughters. But I started from zero on this new account. And the reason why I started projecting myself more confidently online, it was because I want my daughters to see their dad and say, my dad doesn't care. He's the same person on camera. He's the same person doing this. He's creating stuff. Because this world is going to be more part of the world in the future. So by me adopting this and embracing it, it's just going to help them to feel confident in this new world. And I tell you why. I'm sorry that I go for too long, but
I love it. Keep going.
When I was a kid, I used to love to draw. Like that was my favorite thing in the whole world. My dream was I used to draw Mickey Mouse and all these Disney characters. What's the name in English of this Woody Woodpecker?
Woody, I can't even think of the name
Woodpecker?
Now.
Yeah, I think that's it. Woody Woodpecker. And interestingly, I asked my parents, they loved my drawing because my mom says like, look, this is your first drawing when you were 2. So I was my skills were great in drawing, and I was self-taught. And I always said to my dad, I want to work for Disney. I want to go to America and work for Disney.
Cool.
After when I started becoming a teenager, my dad, instead of like saying like, oh, well, how are you gonna do this? It's better if you become an engineer. You're not gonna, like you have to be here in Venezuela first. Later, after you get graduated, you can do whatever you want. And I look back, and the reason why my dad was saying that is because he didn't understand the environment that I wanted to be part of.
Yeah.
And that stopped me from thinking that it was possible. And imagine that you've been a kid, you've been told by the person you love the most that it's better to do it this way and not the way that you dream of. Imagine that will make you start like paradigms, think of, believe in these paradigms that are not going to serve your dreams and your goals. So my point is, look for people, as David was saying earlier, look for people who are navigating in this environment if you truly believe in what we're speaking about. Just same as my daughters, I need to understand this so I can just hand it to them, and whatever they do, right? If they want to adopt it, they adopt it, but they understand, or their dad understand, that this is the way the world is going. And for example, if they decide to take a different path, then it's up to me to understand that path. And if I don't have the time, or if I don't have the resources, then I will find the resources for them to succeed in that area.
No, I agree. I just want to touch on the topic you were saying there. Well, your parents, they love you in a way. They want to show you that's the way they know. So they don't love you less. So don't think they're holding you back. It's just that's 100%. All they know. So I like what Otto was saying there. So you have to find this information. This was I love about Instagram and Facebook. Like how I found the way I wanted to go was like Tai Lopez. He opened doors for me, things I didn't think of. Like that's who opened for me back in, about 2015, was it? Could have been 2016. I can't remember why. It was Tai Lopez and fitness. That's who I like started following. Matt Oakes was in fitness. He's still around to this day and he's booming. Tai Lopez, look at him buying big companies, millions of dollars, flying in jets. Look at where he started. So find people like that who you want to set certain goals, and then find other people who follow him as well. And that's what you want vision-wise, because you might not have anyone around you who's an entrepreneur or who has that vision. Because I didn't have that, so that's why I went to found online. So there's ways around that, because I don't know where you are in the world or where you're listening to this to. So find on it. That's the power of Instagram and power of Facebook. You can see, especially Instagram, you can see behind people's lives, story. You can get behind the scenes feeling, get the good vibe for them. And like, this is what I want. This is my goal. I'm going to hit this in a few years' time. Nothing stopping me. And when you have that vision and you get the right people around you in time, you might have to move away from where you are to find it more. Some people have to. You might be living in the countryside. You might be living in a country that doesn't have much open-minded wise. So you might have to leave. But you can still do it there. Find the right people online, connect with the right people, and build your network. And that's how you can do it.
100%.
Boom! This is how. Oh my God, we're just sending out the information here. Now I'm gonna cut this podcast at this, so we don't want to leave it too long, because me and Otto doesn't know how to shut up sometimes, and
we don't.
In a good way.
Actually, we were talking an hour prior we started recording this. Like, oh, we're gonna start at 10 o'clock. It's now 11:22.
So this is the truth. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. We're going to be doing at least 2 to 3 a month. Keep them going out. And we'll be tweaking as we go along. I'll probably have to buy a microphone soon because I have to check the quality on this. And just join the process. So stay with us. Tell everyone about us. Get more people following. Because there's some wisdom here.
But yeah, guys, like, I mean, if you really, if this information is in line with yourself, it truly speaks to you and you resonate with what we're talking about, we would love for you to, subscribe, like. The whole purpose of this is to build a community as well around our message. And in the future, if that's in our plan to engage with you guys and bring you guys over on a video call and maybe some Q&A sort of session, then we can do that as well. But my point is, subscribe, like,
Yes.
support us, share this, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you in our next episode.
As you said, Otto, it's all about community, and we talk about it here. That's what we're trying to build. So yes, I will see you next week, and yeah, hope you're all keeping well.
No worries, man. See you, David. Nice to see you again, brother.